Feeling his way back really after that major setback against Konstantin Dobyshenko in Edinburgh. Stopped so shockingly in 5, up against the first southpaw of his career tonight, up against a man at the age of 40, Dan Garber, who says this will be his last year in boxing. I wonder if he can punctuate it with what would be a massive upset here as a right hand gets through from Harris. Barry.
Yeah, we still got to remember that Harris is a good fighter. He has lots, you know, he got good skills, he got plenty of power, and he puts his punches together really well, and he can find that finish. Stamina's been the issue. That's been a big factor for him, even some of his wins, certainly that defeat. But he's with a trainer now who will make you work out, will make sure you're fit, will make sure you're ready. So if he can add that stamina to the qualities he has, then we have the makings of a good fighter here.
Already a couple of good shots to the body, hooks to the body landed by Matty Harris. Not headhunting at the start, trying to box behind that long jab. Garber says he knows what he has to do here. He sparred 6 rounds with Matty Harris last year, says he bangs harder than Moses Itama in his opinion, and he should know. But he says tonight he doesn't want this to be a shootout. He wants to try and survive, take it beyond 3, and see if he can get into Dobyshenko territory. That surely is the only way for Dan Garber.
Yeah, it is, but you also got to make Harris work a little bit harder than this at the moment. The short right hand there from Harris. Just like to see Harris be a little more forceful with the jab. I know he's just trying to lure Garber onto a shot, trying to make him throw by flicking that jab out, but I just think a little more weight in that shot will just push Garber back on his heels.
6 wins inside 2 rounds for Magic Matty Harris. Garber's been stopped 4 times, including by Itama and Vidal Riley. Of course, he's been a late replacement on several occasions as well. Box people at 3 days, even 1 day notice against Riley. Made a few quid out of the game, and he's getting out in good time at the age of 40. But he wants to still make some noise here.
He's down with a couple of good shots as well, Garber. He's not winning the rounds, but down with a couple of good jabs, a good left hand to the body a few seconds ago, but Harris just stalking him, having a good look. Just maybe just up the tempo just a little bit to finish the round here for Harris will be a good thing.
Yeah, Harris taking his time, aware that he needs time in the ring. Another right hand to the body, followed by a left hook that bounced off the gloves of Dan Garber. Got the call for this 10 days ago, and he's acquitting himself pretty well so far.
So you can see what they've been trying to do with Harris is try and make him relaxed so he doesn't rush his work and doesn't get too tense and tire out. So he's not pushing the punches, just trying to let him flow a little bit. Just a little bit more activity with doing both well.
Matty Harris heavier here by 44 pounds. Still, even with that advantage, he looks in good shape. He looks like he carries it well. Albeit just still that worry about him gassing, and it will always be there after that fight against Dobyshenko in Edinburgh. A fighter, by the way, who since then has lost all 5.
And that's the thing you got with guys who are having everything the wrong way, especially certainly punchers. Then, you know, they just think when they hit you, everyone they hit's going to be hurt or going to show they're hurt and are going to crumble. Some fighters don't, and when they don't, you have to fight a different part of your game. And unless you've been there, you're not going to know you're going to react. So he knows now, he knows what, and he's sure that they've been working on that. And also, you want to dictate the pace, and he is at the moment. And he's slowed it down, he's not rushing his work. But I still want to see a little bit more activity. There's no
Big
rush.
Smile on the face of Matty Harris, long right hand. He's setting it all up with that lovely loose jab. He looks really loose in there tonight. And slashes to the body again. And a left hand just glancing off the head of Harris from Garber. But why not? Garber setting his feet and trying to land a couple of shots here.
I think if Garber can just roll underneath that jab, like that jab of Harris is a little bit slow. You know it's coming up and it's hard to defend against. But when it's up, once it sort of lands, you can half block it and roll underneath. You've got to target the hit there for Garber.
Garber maybe feeling the advantage to this point anyway of having sparred those rounds with Matty Harris. Knew to an extent what to expect. Of course, different when it's a a pro fight.
Just got to stand, and the reason I say be more powerful with that jab is because it allows you to really commit to that right hand, and that's what he needs to get into play here. Harris.
Carrying those hands low and trying to march Garber into the corner. Good win against Pavel Sauer in February, Dan Garber. That, you'd say that's a fight he wasn't really meant to win, and journeyman himself, Pavel Sauer, but that's a good name on the record. Along with the big ones, of course, he's been in with and lost to. Lost last time against Hughie Fury at York Hall in April, dropped in the 5th by a left hook to the body.
He's just standing at the wrong range here, isn't he? Garber, right on the end of that jab, so Harris is not really having to look for the target.
On Matty Harris and Dan Garber, who's got 3 sons named Evander, Jack, after Johnson, and Clay. There's a boxing man through and through.
Which was Clay? Who after who? Good jab.
Are we going to see a bit more intent here from Matty Harris?
It's funny how you can go from sort of thinking it's nice and relaxed, this is good, to you've got to start putting more pressure on now. And you know, it can change pretty quickly, can't it? You've got a good look at Garber now. He's standing in the range for you to let your hands go.
He lands those hooks to the body of his own, trying to slow down Matty Harris, and that has to be the plan. He said he wanted to take it beyond 3, but he's now in the 3rd, Dan Garber.
Nice good little move there from Harris. It's very subtle, but he cut the ring off. Lovely there. Little just step to the left. And just blocked the exit off there for Garber. Kept him in the corner.
Said he used to read about his uncle's fights in magazines when he was a kid. His uncle Steve was a pro. Went around with Lennox Lewis in his 4th pro fight back in October 1989. And wins against John Fury and Joe Bugner Jr. Dan turned pro at 32, a late bloomer. He's putting on a decent show here. And having sat ringside for that Dobyshenko fight and seeing how quickly it all happened, well, you wouldn't write anything off in this game, Barry.
No, you wouldn't, but this is a different outlook, isn't it? I think, you know, how relaxed Harris is, and Garber not really putting much pressure here on Harris. So everything's comfortable here for Harris. That's why you want to just see a little bit more, maybe. He's having everything his own way. That's better. A bit more commitment to that right hand is what we want to see.
Of course, with Peter Fury now, expert guidance from him, a straight right hand there from Harris. Just maybe a sense that he's lining up 1 or 2 of these power shots, but that's a looping left hook from Garber. I think the work to the body here from Harris, and maybe just a little bit below the body as well, is perhaps taking its toll.
Yeah, but I don't think there's enough weight on the shots to really do that. I think he's getting in the right position, but he's just touching the target, which I understand why they're doing this. Stay relaxed, control the space, but still, you know, he needs a little bit more in his work, I think.
Pumps out the jab that time. Matty Harris says he's in between at the moment. That loss against Dobyshenko means that Wasserman don't want to put him in any danger, but sort of fighters lower ranked don't want to fight him, and he said he's in that sort of no man's land. Corner team with Jimmy First, Glenn Banks and Martin Goulding-Smith looking nice and relaxed and calm and bouncing up and down on his toes, still full of energy. Don't think too many expected this to go this long.
It's a funny fight because you're looking at Harris and we're expecting that, you know, that the power to come into play, and maybe he'll start showing that now. I imagine in the corner they're quite happy because he's stayed nice and relaxed. He's controlled everything, so he's been the boss in there for sure. But for us, I think we're thinking, where's that power we see? Where's that the knockout punch? And I'm sure he's trying to set him up for it. But we almost want to see him bully his way through an opponent.
Casually clears out the nostril there, Matty Harris. Taking his time, getting minutes in. Maybe that's the plan, but you'd feel he'd want to let his hands go now.
And certainly because Garber's, certainly, the Vidal Riley fights when he took a late notice, but that's a big name, British cruiserweight champion.
That power to the body works, and Garber this time does go down on one knee. 6, 7, 8. Still feeling it, out goes the gum shield, just bought himself an extra 3 or 4 seconds. There's an old pro's trick. Still blowing hard, but surprised he got away with that.
He turned into the shot, didn't he, there with that body shot, that left hook to the body, right in the solar plexus, that shot was.
And now Harris knows that he's hurt him, and surely will target the body again here. He's going to try and set up a shot to the body. I think Garber's still feeling it, he's still blowing. There's a right hand, it might just have broken his nose there as well, right on the point of the nose. Now he is starting to let those hands go. You can see that Garber's pouring away at his nose. This is the power and the nastiness of Matty Harris.
See, I'm thinking jump all over him now, but he knows, Harris, when he has the power he has, that he can afford to take his time.
Well, he's just bought Garber a few more seconds. His gum shield's come out.
Come on, mate, quickly, come on.
Garber can't believe his luck there. Big smile on the face of Matty Harris. You don't see that too often. Yeah, ready to go. Still blowing, you can see, still suffering from that shot, Garber. I think he's open to another hook to the body here. Still 45 seconds remain. Right hand to the jaw that time. Garber's doing well to survive here.
He's using his feet well here, Garber. He just moved around the ring, trying to recover his breath a little bit.
Needs to get off those ropes. The right hand gets through again onto the point of the nose, and you can see that it's starting to bother him and hurt him, and even that lazy left hook just disturbed him for a moment there.
Yes, definitely something wrong with the nose. Doesn't look like anything wrong, except he's always touching it. Struggling with his breathing a little bit here, Garber.
Yeah, he is. Blood just starting to come out of that nose now. Harris knows he's got him where he wants him. Uppercut again. Well, the only time Matty Harris has been beyond 4 rounds, he's lost against Dobichenko. I don't think that's going to happen here. And he even heard me saying that, I think.
It's a different fight here, though, isn't it, for him? He is in control. Looking fresher, starting to let his hands go a little bit more now as well.
I don't want to worry you, Barry, but judging from him looking over and saying something, I think he fancies your job here.
He hasn't got the stamina for it.
Big left hook to the body. I think he talks too much sense, personally. Now, still a job to do here. What a tough man Dan Garber is.
I don't think Garber can breathe out with his nose. You can see him puffing with his chest. He's not tired. He's having to breathe out his
again
mouth.
there, and another chopping shot to the body, and he might just have had enough here, Dan Garber. Clinical from Matty Harris. And he smiles at us, and he looks to the opposite corner, and Garber is going to keep going. What a different breed these fighting men are. Nothing to prove, the Yorkshireman at the age of 40. But still, he's going to dig his toes into the canvas and try and make something happen. But Magic Matty Harris is in a rhythm now, and he's spearing out that jab, and he's looking for the finish, and the referee's having a look as well, and another left hook to the body that Garber just about withstands.
And when he lets that right hand go, Harris, when he really lets you commit to there, it looks like a real dangerous weapon. A little bit low with that left hook.
Yeah, it was low.
But he's nice and smooth with his punches here, Harris, as well. Not loading up with everything, a little bit more. But again, more activity and the difference in the result with it. He's an uppercut through the middle there. Tried it there, Harris, but that's the shot for him. Trying to disguise it with a jab or a feint. Rip that right uppercut through the middle. That might be the last shot we see.
was in this arena that he landed that uppercut on Metzis, the knockout of the year contender, you might remember. And is he going to do it again? Garber fighting back there. Landed a left hand, Garber.
Yeah, good left hand on the temple there from Garber. Just made Harris have to reset.
Might just have buzzed Harris there. Harris looks for the left hook.
This is where Harris got to quicken his feet. When Garber's looking for that rest, don't give him that rest.
Yeah, Harris looks a bit frustrated there. Sixth and final round then. Matty Harris will look for the finish here against a super game, Dan Garber. And he too is looking to try and put a dent here in Harris. Sparred 6 rounds against him. He's trying to last 6th round in the pros against him here. And not too many people would have given him a chance of doing that. Down a couple of times, hurt by that first knockdown, but he's done really well.
He sort of deserves to see the finish, doesn't he? I mean, unfortunately, in this sport, what you deserve and what you get are not always marred together, but still want to survive.
Some of those body shots, those hooks are right on the margin and certainly below it as well. Garber had a long look there at the referee.
I think Harris should have got the finish here, and I genuinely think that, but it's not the end of the world seeing him go 6 rounds, is it? And control the pace. Now, he's slowed it down enough so that he can box comfortable. He's been nice and relaxed with his shots.
And he is looking for the finish now, all right.
Good shot, right hand there from Harris.
The right hand followed by the left hook to the body there from Matty Harris.
Garber's used his feet so well, just to stay out of trouble for the most part.
Yeah, it's certainly not a headline-grabbing performance from Matty Harris, like the last time he boxed here against Mike Metzis. That was the uppercut that had Metzis' feet leaving the canvas. You might remember it. It was very dramatic. Garber's feet firmly planted tonight.
But it might be the one he needs. It's funny to say that, because you think, because Garber's been stopped by Hughie Fury and has got a toss for Del Riley, you tend to think that Harris would have wanted to get the stoppage and probably could have. But it might not be a bad thing that he's gone the distance at his pace and has controlled everything, and he's not blowing and he looks comfortable, light on his feet, punches are loose.
Yet in terms of those stoppages, boxing maths can be very dangerous anyway. It's all about his journey, his development, where it puts him. It's going to be a comfortable win. And he's got 20 seconds or so for it to be a win by stoppage. Looking for a dramatic conclusion, which I don't think is going to come here from the Magic Man. He looked for that uppercut. Garber saw it coming.
In favour of the winner, Matty Harris.